Are you ever gonna play that normally again?
Oh, it's been a while, man.
It's been like months.
It's been a while since we played that normally.
I mean, I play normally at the end every week.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Oh,
You gotta flip it once in a while.
The outro is I played the outro, the original outro.
Sheesh.
I try to get these kids into that groove.
Do we change the intro?
Hey, you guys have been saying for a minute.
I know I said that on purpose.
So
how about you make the jingle for Do the Right Thing first?
I'm all right with it. I'm chilling.
Where's my jingle?
There's the Do the Right Thing jingle.
Where's my jingle?
Redoing the intro for the show. It's up to you guys because, as you know, Dave and I are not producers, so we're not going to try and sit on the producer throne.
And you
had an opportunity to be a producer back in your day, but you declined it.
Yeah,
you declined the acceptance.
I wanted to focus more on the podcasting and the geeking, and I was just like, I could do production, or I could just continue talking out my all the time, just be silly and
I'll tell you right now, don't do production because you do that, and then you have like people that are close with you that like think they're helping by like boistering about how well they're doing in music, but then you send them some fire and they'll be like, nah, it doesn't feel full enough. And I'm just like, you've never played an instrument. Who are you?
You know what? It's true. And like it depends on the genre too, though, right? I feel like rap is one of those, I don't know if you produce mostly like hip hop or whatever, but it's one of those genres where you kind of have to leave space for the artist. It's too full. There's a weird, it's weird. It's an odd thing to say. You can tell when something's empty. If it's just like a drum line and a bass line.
Right.
You know, like, but if you have a melody, a bass, some kicks, and some snares and hi-hats, that it's just up to how you sequence it after that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Anyway.
So, that's how we feel.
Okay, see, Dave and I stayed quiet because this is your conversation. So
no, you can get to like tell someone.
I enjoy seeing the other side. It's very fine.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Dave, I didn't say you're staying quiet because you don't know shit. I said you're staying quiet because you are enjoying the conversation of well-seasoned producers, whereas I and you do not know this stuff, has not produced, have not used Reason or Fruity Loops or any of the things that I've heard them mention on a regular basis.
You have used Fruity Loops. What do you say?
I haven't used Fruity Loops. I used Fruity Loops once when I tried to flip Mr. Roboto when I was like 19.
Mr. Roboto? Has anybody flipped that?
No, shh.
Exactly. I'm telling you, when it comes to crate digging that I could do, I could be quite lethal, but I also just don't want to. So
there's bare drums in Mr. Roboto though, so you'd have to go really around the like.
Okay, there's a tool you can buy to strip those elements and actually try to grab the vocals.
What's this tool? Because I've been needing
I'll link you later.
I was gonna
you know who you should know now with the same genre, but he had started out producing hip hop. David Guetta. Yeah. He's on YouTube and he does like these tutorials and like tips and tricks and stuff like that. And there's some little gems in there that definitely help. So I would suggest going on his YouTube.
Have you guys ever fell into the rabbit hole and actually bought one of them classes from Questlove and shit on YouTube? Because I almost didn't. I
can't do it. Master classes?
Yeah, like I'm kind of like, this could
like
be good.
2-for-1 now, too. Like they keep seeing ads every 2 damn seconds. It's just like, by the way, if you buy one, you can get the second one. And I'm just like, listen, I wasn't gonna pay you guys before the pandemic to pretend like I had money. Don't reach out to me now when I don't have money.
Yeah, I felt like master classes were like a ripoff for some reason.
Yeah, I agree on that. I feel like it's weird. Just like, I don't know.
There's something about it that doesn't sit right with me. But speaking of on the producer tip, before we move on to something else, there's a group called 1500 or Nothing.
Oh my god, yeah, bam! I know it, dude. I knew the drum. Oh, dude, I know them.
They have a series of like tutorials and sort of a master class thing and how like their producing process and stuff like that. It's on YouTube too. I'll send you a link to that. But they're an incredible group, man.
Funny story about 1500 or Nothing. So back in the Lupe Fiasco days, around his second album, they were touring with him. They were his like band.
So
the drummer from 1500 or Nothing, Bam, shouts to you, Bam Alexander. He did the drums on Just Blaze's "Show Me What You Got" for Jay-Z.
I could see that.
Right, and he's like,
did he do Lord Knows too?
He might have done Lord Knows.
Yo, Lord Knows the drum on
but
those.
all the rolls and all the on
yeah.
that's all him. So we meet, and I don't realize it's him. We're at the club, whatever. It's Canadian Music Week, and we're there for Lupe Fiasco show. This girl that I'm really close friends with, shouts to you, not going to name names. She is seeing Lupe's lighting guy. Okay, weird. One of the guys from 1500 doesn't get across the border to Canada, so this lighting guy who also knows how to play bass ends up filling in for him. So this night at the club, we find out. I'm at this club. They're like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm just like, "Oh, whatever. I produce, but I'm here with my friend. Whatever." He's just like, "What do you do?" He's just like, "Oh, I drum." I'm just like, "I'm a drummer too." You kind of get together close on that, whatever. But then he mentions the Jay-Z thing, and then the weekend was just dope from that.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was sick. But yeah, shouts to 1500 or Nothing. They're cool.
They're
I never did get to go to Music Week. I always wanted to. I always went to North by Northeast, but I never got to hit up Music Week. And
North by Northeast is more fun.
Okay,
never hit up either.
I always had North by Northeast was great. I got to meet the Jizza. I got to hang out with oh man, who was the other one that I got to hang out with? I got to hang out with Socrates, Decisive. I got to hang out with they just do panels, and because it's Toronto and North by Northeast is in like smaller space. Right. Once it's done, you can just walk to the front and be like, "Hey man, I love your music. I do a show on Wednesdays. Your song is Wednesday." It's just like, oh, it's like, okay, cool. We're gonna pop off on some Wednesday shit right here. Like that's.
Yeah, you're not getting that Canadian Music Week like that. Not really. It's like when I went, it would be like winter and it was cold.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to get invited to like the certain hotel parties and so on and so forth. And
that was North by Northeast was still like that. You had to like have an in with someone who's really cool. The saddest part was watching North by Northeast kind of fall apart too, because there was that one year that I went towards the end, and I remember I had there's a panel I wanted to go to. You had to go in to get a special wristband. And I was expecting a huge lineup, so I got there mad early because I was just like, "Oh, yo!" I don't remember who it was, but it's just like so and so is going to be doing a panel. This is going to be crazy. And I get there, no lineup. One girl standing at a kiosk thing, handing out the badges. I'm just like, "Did everyone come already?" She's just like, "You're only the third person." I'm like, "Excuse me?"
At what time?
It was like 10 a.m. I mean, I know it's early, and I know people party, but one of the things for North by Northeast, CMJ, New York, Canadian Music Week, like all those events is. You party all night. You still wake up early because you're going to be getting fair knowledge. Like you're going to be getting it straight from the source. You know, like when all this digital music stuff was popping off, you had all the people from the digital music sphere coming and doing panels, explaining to you where this is going, how to invest, how to produce. You know, giving tips on like, well, back in the day we used to listen on a small radio. Now we listen on headphones to see because that's where people are consuming the most stuff like that. So
yeah, you actually kind of have to produce on headphones to make sure you get the right side. It's pretty crazy. It's true.
I still think people should be producing on bigs and just making sure that the frequencies work on headphones because, even though it's going to be compressed and stuff, I still think producing specifically for there's stuff that I listen to in the car now that I was
actually about to say I actually want to produce more for the car than the actual headphones because when I'm in the car I want to feel it. Not the headphones is different. I don't have to have that full immersive experience, but in the car you want it to surround you, right?
Exactly.
So
that's the thing. When I listen to music in the car I can tell I'm just like this was not produced for a car. Like this sounds tinny. And I'm like driving
sounds tinny and stuff.
And I didn't get I don't have the nicest sound system in my car, but I definitely have a nice enough sound system that I'm like, okay, this should sound cool. And instead I'm driving and I'm almost embarrassed. I'm like, yo, where's the subwoofer? I need to add some bass to this. You're pressing on the EQ button and adjusting the bass in your car, playing around with it to pretend sub. And I'm like, yo, I shouldn't have to do this because the song isn't produced well. So it's terrible. It's that fake.
This goes back to it doesn't sound full enough.
Actually, full circle. Right? That's exactly it.
I do the car test. I'm all right usually.
I do the car tests, but I have to do it 3 or 4 times.
Before
I get it right.
We do have to go to other stuff, but quick then because you guys just touched on it. Where are the places you do the test? The car, the headphones. What else are you doing?
Car, headphones,
and I do it on the portable speakers.
Yeah, Bluetooth.
Okay.
Those three, if I can hit it well, especially on the portable speaker, because it is hard to get that quality out. If you can hit it on that, yeah, you're good on all the other two, I think.
Yeah.
What's the hierarchy? Who is your who in order 1, 2, 3? Which ones are you focused? Like, what would be the order? I know you're saying now you would like to produce for the car, but if you're producing a track, you're trying to get it out, you're thinking, okay, this is the hierarchy of where I think it's going to get played the most. Headphones first,
yeah.
Mom, car, then headphones.
Mom,
did you say mom?
Headphones? Yeah, I said mom. No, like legit. When I be at my house,
is like mom an acronym for something, or
no? Like my mother, she would be in her ears. She would usually come upstairs, and back when I was producing at home, she'd come upstairs, peer into my room, and like head nod and look at me. I'd be like, "Okay, good, I'm all right.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm all right, good.
That's
if mom's
cool.
down, I'm cool." But like, I don't have that now, but it's cool.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but you got wifey to do that now.
Wifey does it too. Wifey does it too. For real. But like, yeah, just justification of your mother coming upstairs to me like, you're creating something that I can hit. I'm like, all right, you're usually listening to Sparrow.
Just make sure she doesn't have the lyrics, the beat with the lyrics on it. Just send her the instrumentals.
Right? I can't listen to my mom. None of my music.
Did you see the Biggie documentary? That's something his mom touched on. Yeah, she's only listened to his albums once each.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Really? And like her friends used to tell her, because she's very like religious, right? He grew up religious. And she's like, her friends used to tell my friends used to tell me that what the songs were about and what he was rapping about, and she just like was shocked. He was selling dope in her house. Like, dude, it was interesting to see this side of Biggie. He actually was in the streets compared to Tupac, who wasn't.
Yeah. Question though, she was listening to these songs after he released them, but didn't know he was doing this stuff. So she only
no. She ended up finding out.
Yeah. Okay.
But she never actually listened to his music. Yeah, exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah, man.
Guys, we got some topics on the docket at the top of the show here.
Let's get it.
I'm actually excited to talk about this because I think I have a very specific angle to take that I feel is very fair and logical and could be applied to other fictional characters.
Well, that's good. There's two that were attacked recently that I strongly don't really feel like they are deserving of the slander. So one more than the other.
Okay.
Who's the one?
Well, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with Lola Bunny. I feel.
Oh yeah, that was stupid. That was.
I feel Lola Bunny, if she was curvaceous, which I don't think so, or if she was attractive, I believe not like that was the point. But we were 11.
Well,
I don't know
how I explained it to people because I had the conversation with someone. Lola Bunny is sexualized because she's a woman,
right?
Like. The Looney Tunes don't have any other women.
It wasn't for Looney us, it was for them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had the conversation with someone about like the male gaze, and in this situation, it was the toon gaze because Lola Bunny is the interest when she walks in for every character because there are no other predominant female characters. And if you throw back to Bugs back in the day when he was dressing in drag on a tip to try and trick somebody, whenever he was doing it, they played the sexy music for Bugs. The idea of like the female character being sought after because in this room full of male Looney Tunes, she's the only one. Then it's a throwback to that idea of like Aruga, which was a standard trope of cartoons, Animaniacs with the nurse. Every other it's a thing.
You just forget that it's people that were our age then writing these things, and they're not necessarily right. They'll give you the kid stuff, but they also putting in stuff for themselves and like the people of their age at the time. So like, it's all dumb. We can't. I get it. We're trying to make sure we don't repeat the mistakes of the past, but there is a certain thing called overcorrection, and that's what's happening right now.
But also, one of the major things is those cartoons, funny enough, weren't originally meant for kids.
No. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like Bugs Bunny was an adult thing.
Yeah, but I would say adult / family thing. Like it was meant to be watched with the family. It wasn't something that kids should sit like, Disney films kids can sit in front of the TV and watch those on repeat over and over, and the parents don't have to be in the room. Looney Tunes was something that technically you should have been sitting with your parents when you're watching it, because dropping anvils, blowing up dynamite, beating each other, shooting a shotgun in someone's face. These are all things that you kind of need to explain to a kid who doesn't understand cartoons aren't real and that there's repercussions for these things. That's a conversation that should be had at least a little bit.
But hold on, then are we also like 15 years from now going to go back and look at The Incredibles and cut out Mrs. Incredible, whatever her name is?
Yes.
No, I don't think they're going to. Well, here's the thing. The Pepe Le Pew conversation for that one. My thing with that was it doesn't make sense to cut him out. If anything, it makes more sense to try and show that Pepe Le Pew is problematic.
Different. He's grown.
Well, he's different, but it's problematic. Like, he was physically chasing after someone, causing mad panic, tying her up. Like, it's problematic. But if anything, just use the platform to show like Pepe Le Pew in prison and nod to the fact that hey, Pepe Le Pew is problematic.
But Pepe also got batted up.
Yeah, he'd always get left doing that.
I'm not defending. I'm just saying, I'm
just saying you can't compare one to the entire run of Pepe Le Pew chasing this girl. Him getting batted up twice versus him chasing after someone. Like, he's mad stalkerish, and that's fine. If you guys want to depict a stalkerish character, you're depicting a stalkerish character, but show that there's repercussions for being stalkerish. You can do a joke nod to Pepe Le Pew and lock that kid up. That's fine. I'm not because the difference between dropping an anvil on someone's head and someone acting aggressive sexually is you can explain to a kid that dropping an anvil in the real world will kill someone and is it's something you could do in a cartoon. Stalking and hunting someone to the point where she's having severe panic attacks and depicted as such, you can't really explain that to a kid as something that's part of a cartoon, because guess what? That shit's real and will mess somebody up.
Man, I don't mean to laugh, but the way you said that was
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that people want to have the conversation about Pepe Le Pew because, Chappelle made the joke about Pepe Le Pew. It's not like people didn't notice the character was problematic all along. So if they decide not to put him in the movie, okay. But I think cutting him out of the movie doesn't answer or address why they want to do it, because kids who are going to see the movie don't know why Pepe Le Pew's not in the movie, and they won't understand why he's not in the movie.
Now, my whole thing is that it's a brother who's writing these articles regarding Pepe Le Pew and so on, or at least this Pepe Le Pew article, and I wonder if he doesn't see it as I see it, which if we keep... Okay, I feel like this, every time something gets canceled, particularly TMZ or whatever, puts it out, so then the world gets overbeared, or like we all get annoyed with everything being canceled, so on and so forth. So then when it's time for some shit to actually be canceled, like calling us monkeys or shit that like H&M does or whatever, then people will be like, oh, well, the world's too sensitive because of Pepe Le Pew and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's really
I believe in wolf crying wolf. I definitely believe in. I think that's an issue. I think that that's the other thing. There are tiers to how we should be addressing this stuff, and what these articles do is strip away all the conversation, and they're just like, Dr. Seuss's 6 books were bad because he's racist. Pepe Le Pew is bad because he was a rapist. Lola Bunny was overly sexualized and was bad for the kids. And the discussions aren't like being explained. It's just like, here are headlines, and that's the other problem. We're very much part of headline culture. So people see the headlines. A lot of them don't read the articles and have full-on conversations about a headline they saw without any information. And it's like, okay, well, that's problematic.
There's outrage without context already. And
exactly.
I don't know if that's ever going to go away, which is why I'm like, I don't really necessarily agree with this whole, they should have just done it quietly. But nothing's done quietly.
But you could have just not mentioned that he didn't need to be in the movie to begin with.
Yeah.
What's that?
Just there was a good couple example in the first Space Jam movie. Not every single tune was in it.
Yeah,
that's what. Exactly.
So why you don't need to announce it. You don't need to do anything about it. You would have just left it being the past. Like, he's not used any time forward unless it's to make a smell joke. You could have easily phased him into being a gimmick.
Was it Disney? Well, not
It's my
Disney. Was it
opinion.
Warner Brothers or whatever company does this that
From
put
what
it
I
out?
understand, the director that wanted to make the change and then spoke on it because he spoke on like Lola, like there was like a conversation about why these characters were being updated. And again, I understand wanting to explain the update because
You
similar
shouldn't have
to like,
we just felt like
I
updating them.
I get that.
Like, that's it.
You like that's the thing. We get that because we're media literate. To a world of people who aren't media literate and live in a world of headlines, then you're trying, hopefully, but then the headline gets messed up because people want clickbait headlines and they don't actually want to discuss what you're trying to tell them. So,
but the other thing though for this is that like I saw a quote today that I thought was interesting. Is like, oh yeah, they're doing this, but I just witnessed my son go into Grand Theft Auto, have sex with a prostitute, and kill her because he didn't want to pay her.
That's your son.
And like, it's like,
no, but I agree
where
with
do you put the lines?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
but
there's
you
like,
need to watch the kid too. Like,
but that's my
like,
you're gonna want like it goes back to the original conversation that Brian was he started a little while ago. Is that it's important to see what your kids are doing, and like if they're gonna do something, if you're gonna let them play or watch something that there is wrong things in it.
Yeah,
it's you as a parent to either say there's too much of it going on, so they're not ready to process this. They can't watch it now and watch it later, or say they can't watch it at all because I don't want to explain it. Or B, you know what? I am going to let them watch Simpsons, and I'll watch I'll watch as many episodes as I can with them, so I could be like, just so you know, that's wrong.
Don't let TV parent your kids.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down
At the end of this whole thing, it comes down to the issue is not that these characters were problematic. It's that without context and no one explaining anything, kids watching these shows don't learn. When I was a kid, my parents told me you can't drop an anvil on someone's head because if you're a kid and you're watching a cartoon for the first time and you just keep seeing them do this, you're not going to understand that this is dangerous. You see them throwing hammers at each other. You see them doing all this crazy stuff. Daffy and Bugs being best friends, but also kind of trying to kill each other. And you're laughing at it. You might do something stupid because no one's teaching you this is a cartoon. This isn't real. These characters are drawn and anything can happen in the fictional world they live in. Those are conversations that still need to be had with kids and they don't do it anymore.
Like and about anything they see on TV, like even when I was a kid, my parents were like, anything you see on TV is fake. Like, you know, like nothing you see on TV is correct.
All scripted. The reality shows all the way down to your sporting event. Don't worry, the draft scripted. Every time your favorite team doesn't get that guy that you wanted, you know why. Because someone up top is working out something that so that these players don't get where you want them. That's just what it is. There's a game in everything. The fix is in everywhere. As long as you start to understand that early, it's all the better to you.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just a bunch of distractions they're throwing at you guys out there in the world. Paying attention. It's a new. Do you realize you're always occupied?
Yeah.
It's a trap. It's a never-ending loop and cycle of news and headlines and arguing and live your life, man. None of these things matter as much as you people think they do.
Facts. But speaking of the fix being in, Zack Snyder, Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry. No, I mean, it's not. I mean, this time we can't even blame him. But Tom and Jerry. Well, this is what I think. Tom and Jerry on HBO Max. Some people, when they clicked on it, were getting access to the first chapter of the Zack Snyder Justice League cut. Mm-hmm. And my question is, can we admit now that the leak, quote unquote, is a new rollout?
Yeah,
like leaking some shit is a rollout now, and everyone's doing it on purpose. It
was like that for music. It's become like that for movies. I could see that.
It's just, but like, why are we doing it like this? Why is leaking content the new rollout? Why can't you just actually release the movie? I don't understand. What's the benefit of the leak? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Gauging views and people's reactions, and then pulling up the release date if you need to, or delaying the release date if you need to based on the response. It's like what's the word? What do they test? Audience test before they release something? I guess it is an audience test.
Audience test.
Not
Yeah.
honestly. There's like a specific word for it, but yeah.
Word for it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a premiere, but something showing.
No, we're never gonna figure
We're
it
not
out.
gonna remember.
But yeah, I
a screening.
no.
No, I know what Toby's talking about.
Yeah.
It's not a movie related. It's when you bring in people into a room and they're paid to evaluate this thing. I don't. Yeah, I can't remember what it is right now. But yeah, I feel like for me, watching them do this continuously, where everyone is leaking content, it just kind of feels weird because none of it feels authentic. And I think that's one of the things that bothers me when I watch this stuff, that it doesn't feel authentic. I don't think that these studios are trying to give me a quality product. They're just trying to see what is the reaction, and they're going to adjust accordingly. We're only getting the Snyder Cut because the people kept pushing for it, and now we're getting this leak to see what. Oh, the leak. Okay, how many people search for it? Try and find out.
Exactly, but how exactly? That's one. How quickly was it rectified? I don't know, because I obviously didn't have time to go and see if it's still there.
No, within a few hours it was gone.
It sounds to me like another promo before the movie comes out. That's it. This was a controlled leak compared to usually when it leaks on like some other website or whatever. This was a controlled leak on their own damn platform.
It's just
doesn't even platform. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's
really
so
lazy
clear.
though.
It is 100%. Doesn't make any. It makes sense.
Release date
18th.
Yeah, it's coming out this next week.
Next week.
Oh, that was the other thing. My buddy was just like, it's coming out the same day or the day before Falcon, and I was just like, well, we all know
themselves up for that.
Yeah, but I mean, the only reason they're doing that is because they know people are already going to be ready to nerd out. We're probably I think we're only getting the first episode of Falcon. We're not getting a 2 thing like they were supposed to do for WandaVision.
They're supposed to do a 3-episode debut for Wanda.
3. Yeah. Did you guys check out that podcast? Shout outs to Fatman Beyond with Kevin Smith. And oh man,
that did a lot. He did all those Always Sunny episodes. Holy shit.
Yeah, Kevin Smith been out here, man.
Not Kevin Smith, the director of Wandavision.
Yes. The director of Wandavision has done wild amounts of stuff. Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin. Yeah, right. Yeah, but he has a French name, Marc Bernardin.
Yeah, but it's not. It's as American as they come.
Bernardine. Yo, okay, but so we probably usually don't tell people, hey, go check out this other podcast. But we've got to be honest. If you want to hear the director of WandaVision go deep into the whole thing, the whole plan, the things they had to change, why they had to change them, which characters were supposed to do what, which characters did the things they did, even how some of the scenes were shot afterwards. They realized some stuff, why Darcy wasn't there after because she was busy filming another project and couldn't come back. Like all that stuff is tackled in the episode Fatman. Well, it's called Fatman Beyond now. It used to be Fatman on Batman.
Fatman on Batman, yeah.
Yeah. But Fatman Beyond, and it's interesting. It's really fun conversation that they have. Kevin Smith is a nerd, so he's just nerding out the whole time. You find out that the director grew up on sitcom sets. So you're talking about a kid who grew up on sitcom sets, becomes a director, gets all the way to Disney for WandaVision, and they're like, oh, by the way, this is the plan for the show. And it's just like, I can do that. I've been on this.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, man.
I was trying to more or less think about, or kind of see if he was going to get into more or less how it went from him working on theater to Feige seeing his shit. Because we need to.
I know. Yeah, we got to figure out what the angle is.
that move. That's what we need to do. I want to be in that writer's room. I just want to be like, we're the 4 guys that they just be like, okay, so does this make sense? No, makes sense if it go.
Yeah. It was dope, man.
You're their litmus test. I'd be down.
Yeah.
That's
dream
conversations like that. That was one of the things that was the most fun. Just kind of finding out, because as fans, I mean, we're going to talk about it a little bit. I assume because we already talked about it in our mini episode. But Skinny, you didn't get to jump in, and I'm sure you have thoughts on the WandaVision finale. But when you reach the last episode and you see everything, and one of the things I like the most about listening to Matt talk about it was, for example, when they talked about Reed Richards not showing up at the Ridge, and he's just like, hey man, I just wanted to get a good shot of the origin story of Monica, and I wanted that to be the focus. And that was the one thing that he was just like, I kind of wish that the Reed Richards thing wasn't the focus, that you guys latched on to her meeting someone at the Ridge when I'm about to help birth a superhero. Right. They gave me free reign on how that's done. And he explains how every time someone is producing or creating, they have an idea of how that character is going to be used down the road, but they get to create the origin of how those powers manifest. They can be adapted further on, but all the adapting comes from how they create it.
He almost let go of her name, actually. Did you notice that?
What?
Like he almost let go of her code name and he stopped himself. He was like, "Yeah, you almost missed the origin of a character." And I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, a character. You almost lost your job, nigga."
I know, That's the thing, right? Him talking to Kevin Smith is probably like, especially since he admires Kevin Smith, right? Yeah. It's one of those things of like, okay, I'm a nerd, you're a nerd. I appreciate you as a director. I got to direct the nerd thing. I want to geek out with you. I look up to you. Here's all this info that I probably shouldn't share. And then it's just like, whoa. You can't share that on air. You're gonna get in trouble. So
it wasn't also live like we do. So they would have edited it out if he did. So
yeah, for sure. I bet there was one or two parts where they kind of stopped it and like, yeah, we were gonna.
Like it. I feel like they had to.
Kevin Smith also would like. I don't think he needs to sign anything. He's such a geek like us that he would immediately. Yeah, I'm taking it out. What do you mean? I don't want people to know this. He would 100% do that.
Okay, quick question. I want to know, who do you guys think, either in Hollywood, the music industry, so on and so forth, who are like the top people that if they needed to get your phone number, they could get it no matter what? Like I'm talking like, like how Kevin Feige could just like hit you up and he doesn't have your number, but he just got it. You could be like a nobody on the wall, but he'll get your number. Like Jay-Z.
You just named at least one of the people on the wall.
There's Feige. Okay.
You named two, Beyonce, there's so and Jay-Z, that's one.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige, and essentially anyone higher up over Kevin Feige at Disney could probably get my number if they want to, because they just have that power. Like Iger or Chapek, the new head. Yeah. Like those guys,
both named Bobs, right? The Bobs.
Yeah, the Bobs. Kathleen Kennedy over at Lucasfilm could get the number anyway if she needs to. Because anytime she wants somebody to direct anything, there's no agent in Hollywood who's going to be like, "Don't take a job at Lucasfilms." It's like,
who's that lady? Shonda Rhimes, maybe even.
Shonda Rhimes,
I think Chappelle.
Yeah, I can see that. Comedy,
for sure.
If you're a starting comedian and Chappelle gets a whiff and likes what he sees, nothing will stop him from getting you either writing for him, writing with him, or working on anything that he has. And that's just what it is. Yeah, I definitely think Chappelle. I think that if anything, though, Skinny, I don't think it's as much a name as much as a level. Once you reach a certain level, status. I feel like once you reach a certain status, you just have that in the
status. You could just be like, "Find me this person." Shit.
Yeah. That's fair. 100%. Like I remember when we were in the West Island and they were just like, you knew some people could just get you into any of the West Island bars because they just had the status.
That person. That's an ill comparison, but
but that's what it was. Like in the suburbs, because when I was living in the suburbs, I thought it was weird that like there's like this one, I don't remember who it was, but there's this one guy that people were always nice to that was kind of a jerk. And I was just like, why are people okay with this dude? And it was just because he just had the stroke. Any club, any bar, anything, he just had the connect that was like, oh yeah, so-and-so knows so-and-so. So if you want to get in, he'll get you the tickets. He'll get you the pass. He'll get you on the list. So everyone was just kind of like, just always be nice.
Yeah, there was always a connect.
Yeah, there was always that dude. It came to a point where I just stopped going anywhere with people because they were a liability to me getting in.
Yeah.
I'll meet you guys there in an hour.
That's a conversation.
Dude, how you getting there? I don't know.
Straight like dressed nice. They come up with like torn jeans. You're like, it's forgot.
I snuck into mad shows. Like
honestly, dress codes pissed me the hell off.
Yeah.
I think there's a certain acceptable level, no matter who you are, of like clean versus not. But what I'm wearing, It's weird. I guess it's their club, their rules. I don't want to get into this.
We come from a time of basically dressing up like we're going to a wedding.
To dress up and dress pants and
dress pants, tuck shirt.
Week.
What kind of
out here in black dress shoes?
It changed over time. But there was a period of like 5 years, 6 years growing up where it was just like
all know why they did that.
Yes, because they didn't want us looking like hoodlums and so on.
Not even just hoodlums. They didn't want black people.
Oh yeah, that too.
It was
it was like that a lot of places.
Because
but I'm just speaking about dress codes overall.
Yeah, But those dress codes were, they were gatekeeping against people of color, and that's just what it was. Yeah. That's why it was so stupid. Like I remember one time going to a club, it being in line, and I was wearing, I don't remember what I was wearing.
By the way, but guarantee every black person has one of these stories at least.
Oh, of course,
you're about to tell.
But
making me laugh. I was looking at Dave over there, looking all intrigued, like, tell me more.
I am curious.
I'm in line. I'm wearing the proper attire. A guy shows up, not dressed properly, gets in. I don't get in. Oh, it's because you have a chain on. Okay, tuck the chain in. Oh, you can't wear a shirt with a pattern on it. I'm like, what do you mean with a pattern on it? Oh, because the shirt has a samurai. You know those old stupid shirts that we used to have to button up with the samurai on it? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. Go to the car. I had another shirt because I'd been at something else.
You brought backup because of the situations you've been in before.
Well, I didn't bring the backup for that reason, but I had a backup in that situation. Got the backup. Get back to the front of the line because my friend we were on the list. That's the other thing. This is another situation where you're on the list.
Lists don't matter.
Backs. Because you get back to the front, now dressed in the proper dress shirt, now still wearing another excuse. Oh, those shoes, those are like running shoes. I'm like, no, man, these are dress shoes. What are you talking about? They're white dress shoes. Oh, yeah, no, those. I'm like, what?
Yo, the white dress
shoes.
I had some Lacoste white dress shoes and still couldn't get it. I remember that what happened to me once.
Because they always like to pretend that white dress shoes were sneakers, and it's like, homie, I could take this off and show it to you. I don't understand. This is not a kicks. It's not a running shoe. No, it's an excuse. I'm black. You don't want me in there because your black quota has been met. So now
they can't say that. They're gonna be like, oh, it's like we're at capacity right now. We're just waiting, and then you see people going in while you're waiting. You're like, what's happening?
I remember one time
I wisened up. So here's the thing, guys. I wisened up to that. Like I didn't go through too many of those experiences. I went through quite a few.
Because you're tall,
but no. But I ended up. You just have to move a little differently.
I just play on the Raptors, man.
If I don't have a guaranteed way in, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Right.
They're not gonna get the pleasure of turning me the fuck away. Right. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, start your own damn party. I did lots of house parties. Fuck clubs. Clubs are shit.
True. Right. You're right.
That's
waste of time and money.
The whole vibe changed. The whole vibe changed because one of the things about the culture is you're playing. That's the other thing that was funny. You're playing music that we are producing. It's our music. You can pretend like you're not playing our music, but our nights are the most popular nights, but you're trying to keep us out.
Right.
So what's going to happen? We're just going to throw our kickbacks over here. We're going to start opening our own spots. And then when those spots start popping, you're going to get mad and all your clubs start shutting down on Saint Laurent, and all the spots that are owned by black people, and all the spots that are that have the connects, all the spots that have the DJs that used to hang out with us when we were younger, now that we're all older, is popping. And all you guys who used to own Dome and all these other places are just sitting there pretty twiddling your thumbs, watching the money go down the drain because no one wants to go to your spot because y'all were so strict at the door. That we're just like, let's just.
I think that was one of the good things with social media is like people just start calling places out now, right?
Yeah.
Which is good in that sense, and I think they, I think that hurts people in the long term. But back then we didn't have the resources or the way or method to do that, right? Rallies or strong cry. What am I gonna do? Pick up my phone and start calling people?
Yeah.
What I like about back then, or even when the total switch up of when sneaker culture came to fruition. So like all the clubs had to switch their mind state because all the kids are dressing street and nobody was in the clubs like
you didn't have a choice.
That's why I said there's a point where
I loved it. It came to a point I was like 25, 26, still clubbing, but I could go out in like casual street clothes. I'm like, I'm gonna go somewhere. Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah, I can't stand clubs. For years now, it's not.
I haven't
It's
been.
not
in
my.
years,
It's not my scene. It's just a lot of fakeness and spending money for no reason.
The last time I went to a club was what's the one on Saint Laurent upstairs? It starts with a K. It's across from what used to be La Tulipe. I don't remember. Anyways, there's a club on the one of the main streets in Montreal that is upstairs, and I went to recently, and it was so weird because you could see the younger generation of people obviously have never had to dress up or do the things we did. Like they are going in and it's like ripped jeans, torn like, and I'm just looking around.
The more ripped, the better, because it shows it's more expensive.
Yes, that's part of the scene now. And I'm just standing there like, I can't believe. And they're all, and like, you know, people are like just having fun doing what they're doing, and that's fine. But they're also just blatant and obvious about it now. Like they're not even trying to hide. At least back in my day, people said, I'm going to the bathroom to powder my nose, and you knew what powder the nose meant. But I walk into the place, I turn a corner, and there's two girls in the corner just doing it out in public. I'm like, holy, like I was just like, y'all are wilding out here. But that's just
damn.
Yeah, the age of certain things changes and comes down as we age.
Yeah. I guess it's just more accepted. It's still, I mean, I would say be careful, but if you guys are okay and you want to do it,
drug culture is huge now, bro.
Yeah.
Every song is about drugs, bro.
Yeah.
Every song.
Yeah.
Big time. Fact.
Guys, View the Right Thing. We are launching into that segment now. I don't know what you guys have all been watching. I see Boss Level on here, which I haven't seen. I see Blackish, which I haven't watched in a minute. I watched Debris. Where do you guys want to start? Are we going to talk about Wanda still, or are these guys?
Yeah, we can start with Wanda. You want to start with Wanda?
Mini recap. The finale. We saw it. We had our episode that we did on the Friday. If you guys haven't checked it out, go follow our socials at Geektastic Cypher on all the social platforms. Just go follow us. Go follow us right now, and then you'll be able to watch it because we record those and we put them out straight to Twitter and on YouTube. But yeah, man, I checked it out. I liked WandaVision. I thought, a lot of people, the headlines were all, people are going to be disappointed that didn't deliver what the fans were expecting. And I keep thinking to myself, who are these people writing about? Because real fans watched it and appreciate, yes, I definitely think the ending was slow.
But that's slower than that's not because you had an expectation. Exactly. You just had theories, and the things you knew were going to happen. So, but I don't understand actually. Who are they interviewing? That's what I do understand.
And I feel more comfortable saying that the first few episodes dragged a little slow for me. Now that I know they were meant to all come out together, and the third episode was supposed to end with us seeing Monica tossed out and seeing Sword. That I feel, because everyone getting mad being like, oh, you guys aren't patient. It's just like, we weren't meant to be. We were made patient because a pandemic hit and they needed to kind of stretch out that Disney money, Disney Plus subscriptions. How are we going to get these kids signed up and staying? Okay, so we're going to pace it all out. And that's why, so for me, at least, that's what it was.
No, I totally agree with you. I didn't think it was too slow. I kind of liked the we've been hit with movies, guys, 2-3 hour long movies of hard hitting, massive sceneries and jumping from this to that. It was kind of nice to have a little slow down in pace, easing me into this next phase almost, right? It felt like I was being lullabied a little bit, but not in a bad way, just kind of swaying into it, just ease.
And it's important to do that because you can't comfortably.
I was just going to say, being brought back to the MCU comfortably is what I want to say to add what you say. Sorry, Dave.
No, it's okay. It's just that because you also can't do it path, because then what you're going to say, every single movie and every single TV show is just going to be action after action. Exactly. It was nice for WandaVision to be just different in general.
She's the new Iron Man.
Yeah.
She is starting every...
That. Hold on.
I don't know if I go that far, but
why not? I think Wanda is going. Okay, I said it before and I'll say it again. Wanda is the key for everything going on, from now on.
I mean, she can do this. Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you meant the popularity and things like that.
I'm not mad at.
I go up in popularity.
Oh, she definitely will. I'm not mad at the idea. I just think the reason Wanda was the first was because of the pandemic. She wasn't meant to be the first show out. So I don't know if I see
what was supposed to be the first show out?
Cap and Falcon.
I think it was supposed to be Falcon. Yeah,
Well, I
Falcon
think
Winter Soldier was supposed to be first.
Yeah.
You know what's I actually
because-
prefer this order.
Yeah,
Sure,
would have been
sure.
weird having the second.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about this order too? It both like it really screws Falcon and Winter Soldier and really helps them. It helps them in the sense that like
Anticipation for the next thing.
Yeah, they weren't the first out the gate, so the first out the gate did what it did, and they don't have the pressure of being the first one back after a delay of stuff because it was going to be Black Widow. Then we were supposed to have by now Doctor Strange in November, right? Originally,
yeah.
Mhm.
And then we would have had Falcon Winter Soldier. Like we were going to have a few things by now. Wanda ended up being first. Falcon Winter Soldier come in second. The bar has been set pretty high because the show delivered on a lot of stuff, but it also is very different from what they're going to be doing. So it doesn't hurt them, but I see that being an interesting challenge for them coming in.
But I think that something that's in their favor is that because Wanda was so different, you're definitely going to have some people who like they want to have that action fix because like the only real action you got from Wanda was the last episode. And don't get me wrong, that it was one of the best fight scenes I would say in the MCU so far. It was an amazing fight scene, but now I find that they're going to naturally not win, but have an easier way to at least be following up behind because they will have the action. They will have those suspenseful moments as opposed to being like, what's going on?
That's
like,
a good
You're
point.
right. And I think what we got, which is why I feel like this whole thing did play to their advantage in terms of order is because we got the acting from Wandavision. I'm not like if we came into like super cold right into Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm not joking. I'm not a big fan of Falcon. And Winter Soldier only to me was interesting during Civil War and Winter Soldier. After that, I could care less about him as a character, to be quite honest.
Okay.
And Anthony Mackie's latest projects have been super underwhelming. So it just to me feels like this was the right move.
Yeah.
So I don't expect much from this show except for just unveiling things. But in terms of like the acting and like, you know what I mean? Like I don't expect much from the two characters.
That sucks, but he's right, man. Mackie really had to deliver with Outside the Wire and our Altered Carbon. If you're going to be made the lead of a Disney Plus series, you got to show us you have the chops. He has the action chops. We've seen him do the action now, and we get it.
But there's just this.
There's something
something missing. I don't know what it is. It came out briefly in that Black Mirror episode. Like,
yes,
I saw it.
Yeah,
but I don't know what it's going to take for it to translate elsewhere.
Yeah, I guess, it definitely is that as an actor, that show, maybe it's the fact that he's either really good at acting or really good at the action. He hasn't mastered blending that. Like a Bruce Wayne Batman. Like you got to be able to be a good Bruce Wayne and a good Batman. Mackie is either a good Bruce Wayne or a good Batman. I haven't seen him be a full realized, I don't know who would be the best, Michael Keaton so far, because I'm trying to think of who was the best to encompass both. As like it's definitely not Ben Affleck. I'm sorry, I don't know. Ben Affleck to me was not definitely
both in terms of Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Kilmer.
I'd say.
I can't say Kilmer.
Christian Bale did a good job.
Yeah, maybe Bale.
Because Bale did it great, in my opinion, especially for the time of Bruce Wayne's life. He was amazing as Bruce Wayne, especially in the first two.
Yeah. See, but Omar, is that what's his name again?
Mob's Goodness.
Mob's Goodness. Yeah. He said watch Mackie in the Hurt Locker, which I've seen the Hurt Locker. I've seen him. This is like years ago too, right? So
yeah,
I don't know.
To finish what he says, watch Mackie in the Hurt Locker. He has acting chops, but man, he has not picked the roles outside of the show to show it again. And that's the problem. Whoever's picking the roles or working with him on his team is not finding the roles where his acting chops can match the action he's bringing.
They're just looking at the money.
Altered Carbon was a fun watch, but that character, Takashi, doesn't come across as a deep enough character. I think,
bro, it wasn't a fun watch. I didn't even watch it
Yeah,
all.
it
I
was-
stopped
yeah,
watching
I
at like
finished
episode 3 or 4.
yeah, I definitely finished it because I was interested in seeing where it goes.
Yeah,
But it was one of those 1.5s. Like I
you're
definitely,
braver than me, my friend.
after watching the first 2 episodes, I was like, I gotta speed through this. I don't want to.
It's so bad.
Yeah, and that's what sucks because the first season with homeboy from Suicide
That
Squad,
was incredible.
he did a really good job as the character.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Joel
It's
Kinnaman.
true. I know that Hurt Locker Mackie delivered. I would even say Adjustment Bureau Mackie delivered. That's a like, I know most people don't care about that movie, but I really like the character
So
he plays.
that's what
in
it
that.
is. He needs to be in a supporting role, playing opposite somebody, playing against someone. He can't be a lead. That's what it's come down to.
Yet, I don't want to say he can't ever be a lead, but you're right.
Okay, so he's 0 for 2 right now.
But you know what it is? Wait, okay. Maybe Falcon and Winter Soldier could be the spot because here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
You just pointed out something when he, like, in the Netflix one in Black Mirror, he was with someone as dual lead.
Right.
That's a good point.
Playing
And in the
against
other
somebody
ones,
else.
yeah.
And he okay, so sorry. Even going back to Outside the Wire, the movie itself was bad. Like the writing was a little choppy in places.
Yeah.
It was a fun watch, but
Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily him. And he actually did shine when he was playing against Damson Idris's character, or you know, the Russian mob lady, or the girl who the gun runner lady. Like
the Irish, but yeah,
exactly.
Whatever.
He's more comfortable, and I feel more at ease when he's with someone else.
Damn. Oh shit. Hey Mackie, we don't. It's not that we don't love you, man. I feel like this is tilting into some of our like Harmon rate. Like
that's all right. That's all right.
But I don't want.
Sometimes they need to hear it from abstract sources.
But we actually like Mackie.
Of course, I love Mackie.
Exactly. Okay. I just want it to be clear because
I just don't like the characters. You get it? Like it's
Yeah,
the characters that he's picking, that he's playing, and the sort of roles that he's been picking that I don't like. Him as a person, fantastic.
Yeah, he has the energy. I think
Why
he's
do we need to say that?
Because
fuck you, Dan Harmon, is that why?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Because I love saying fuck Dan Harmon because he's
I thought it was Kevin James now.
Yeah, and fuck Kevin James because he's a dumbass. Other than King of Queens, and you know. But Mackie, I don't want to put, because when we start shitting on people, it's often these like fat drunken white guys that we like to shit on, and that's just okay.
See, tough love for Mackie. He needs it. He needs to know. He's not hearing it from the people close to him. You know when like the people closest to you should be telling you this song you're in the booth rapping right now sucks. That's what he needs, right? That's what he needs right now. That's what he needs. Yeah. Next one.
Those 16, you got to redo them, homie.
Yeah, redo 16, bro. That ain't it.
Yeah. Is that the title? That ain't it.
That ain't it.
A picture of Mackie.
But yeah, going back to the episode.
Yeah, sorry, it's true. Yeah, we went
wrap it up. I don't know how we ended up on Mackie the whole time.
Also, sorry, Skinny, you're supposed to be telling us your take, and we just started talking about Mackie. Skinny, I'm sorry, man. You didn't get to vocalize your opinion on the finale. What are your thoughts? That's where we were supposed to be going. I apologize. Mackie, we love you, homie. Dan Harmon, suck a dick. There you go. Okay.
Wow. Hey, all right.
We're a little forward with this Dan Harmon hate now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode.
Okay, yo, what did you think about Wanda and Agnes's like face off?
I mean, shit, been called that since like I'm sucking off your magic. Okay, cool, we got that. I like how she flipped her with the runes. I like all of that. I liked it.
Do you not
Skinny
feel
did
like
call the siphoning of the magic early? That is one of the things you said early on.
You were the one saying Agatha was good. We said she was.
My friend always joked I'm Optimus Brian, and that was 100% me being Optimus Brian. I was just like, maybe she's good, guys.
Maybe she's good. She's only just holding her 2 kids by magical rope by the neck.
I was like, I thought it was a challenge. Step up to the challenge.
Yeah, maybe she's challenging her. What?
Baby's throats.
But you know what? That speaks to Catherine Hahn's like acting. Also, that you actually felt like she could just switch it off like that. This is all an act.
I truly did. Yeah. Okay, sorry, Skinny.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. Vision putting himself into kind of Vision.
Yeah.
I called a bit of that, and I was happy with what they did, and I'm happy Vision didn't didn't go into him, but just kind of was like, "Here's your memories." He was like,
kind of just opened his third eye.
Yeah, he was like, "Here you go." That's it, and like, yeah, that was cool. Her whole costume coming into play with the runes, I thought that was super dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you not feel like she's just too quick of a learner though?
Oh no, this is gonna come and bite her in the ass. Like some shit's going down. We know this.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that whole you'll be the one to ruin the universe. Some shit's going down. We don't know.
That's why. Okay, before the episode, I said she is the Phoenix of the MCU.
I don't know.
And then I saw the last episode and how it's going and the kind of magic she's learning on the level she's able to execute it at, and I'm like, how is she not gonna blow everything up?
I don't know about Phoenix. I know they'll find some other way of looping her into some sort of shit. But Avengers Disassembled may just happen with her going nuts. Something's gonna go down, and I don't think it's gonna end well for her. She might end up a little bit crazy. Uno, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
100%. She might end up crazy.
She already shows that she's stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme. Just in the couple the post-credit scene, for example, like we discussed in our little discussion.
Was that Wondergore? I asked
that
right before. Was that
that's a good guess? Yeah, I could think so. Because
that'd be sick if that was Wondergore.
Yeah. I mean, they don't use it though, so it's like it's cool to see it, but there's no nods to what it is as a space in the MCU or in the 1/6. So I mean,
the area.
The area where she's at. Like they say that she was born at the bottom of Wondergore Mountain and where she got her powers and so on and so forth.
Her and Pietro are born there, right? That's the
right. Yeah, it's probably a nod to it. I don't know if they're gonna go.
That's what I was saying. Like at least is it a nod to Wondergore? That's.
But you notice in the family photo, it was also in the background of the family photo. Vision and the kids and her. If you look, the scenery in the background is literally that same location she ends up at the end, which is.
I thought it was at first the Hulk's place. Remember when the Hulk disappears the first in the Ed Norton Hulk?
Oh yeah.
Or not Ed Norton, but when Mark does the first movie and Natasha goes to find him and he's like essentially living it.
That's in Mexico.
Oh, was
that true? That was in Mexico.
Okay. Yeah, it was in Mexico.
Oh
yeah, it was cool. I liked it. Overall, I'm not disappointed by anything. I'm kind of glad they didn't really give you a big reveal because again, it's TV and whatever. And I'm
it was enough. Yeah, exactly. It was enough. It was nice to like feel like you're watching TV for the first 8, and then you're watching a movie at the end. Right. It was nice.
My only thing is that like, okay, so if this happens like 2 to 3 weeks or days after Endgame, and then
we had this discussion.
Far From Home,
yeah,
and then Far From Home is like 8 months after Endgame, and then are they gonna go and do another type bullshit thing where like no, I don't even know because
this is before Far From Home.
This is before Far From Home.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm asking where Doctor Strange is happening if Spider-Man's at Christmas. How are they gonna and make Spider-Man make sense? And then,
I don't think the release order is chronological.
Of course not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
But if Spider-Man is in Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, or if Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man,
yes.
Oh shit! Okay, that's how they're gonna do it. So
how crazy would it be?
Spider-Man? So that has to take whatever they do has to take place after Far From Home. But then whatever Strange does with Wanda can happen anywhere between that. Wow.
Maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know.
So literally,
I'm a little lost.
You can literally have because you could literally have a multiverse of madness where they transcend time, go through all these multiverses. Have Spider-Man in there, do all this shit, and then in terms of bringing it back so that for Spider-Man, everything's normal, kind of.
Yeah. In my head, I figured that we're going to have some weird, quote-unquote, timey-wimey stuff, as people like to say.
The last time was hard enough. This time, I don't know. They better not mess it up.
I know that we don't...
The thing with the last time, though...
Fix things.
Yeah. The thing with the last time was more the... It wasn't even, they weren't really going back in time, right? They were just going to different versions of this reality in the past. Shoot, that's true.
No, you're talking about when they went for the stones. That's still, that was still time.
Yeah, okay, but maybe Doctor Strange has more to do with not time, but going through different realities.
I mean, the Ancient One explains it to the Hulk. Like,
Mhm.
This is how you guys look at time. This is how time actually works.
Right. It's just
like you guys have this very linear concept of time, and time is not that simple.
It's all happening at the same time.
Yeah,
and not yeah.
Exactly. Like some people think of the future as just an alternate time to where you are in time. Not an alternate time, but alternate timeline. You know,
which is why every decision you make branches out to a different future and different reality.
Yeah,
or could.
Exactly.
Could.
So that's why, like, in the comic book, if you're going to play with the comic book universe that way, you can pretty much do that. The only thing is you're going to lose some people along the way because, like, comic book readers are used to non-linear, crazy time, offset time storytelling. But for people who are used to linear storytelling, it's going to be a hard thing to try and jump into. It won't make sense in some ways.
A little fun fact, I just noticed like huge floodlights going in my backyard. They're filming What We Do in the Shadows in my back alley.
Oh,
season 3.
That is so
crazy.
Like they usually film like Kim's Convenience, like different shows and movies around here. So once in a while, they just paid me like a little bit to move my car somewhere else.
Your car? Why?
Well, they need the street parking for all the trucks that are in front of my house.
Yeah. Shout out to Kim Convenience. We're sad to hear that they're ending after season 5 because they were supposed to have 5, 6 from what I understood, but I guess the pandemic unfortunately takes another soul. But the show did a great, amazing things. 2 of the actors from the show are going on to do some Disney stuff. You had the dad who's going to be doing some Star Wars. He's going to be in the Squadron show, right? The New Republic. And then you have the son who's going to be damn Shang-Chi. So shout outs to them.
I'm actually curious if the actors are there. I want to take my phone and
I'll take a peek. I know Skinny has to duck out. So Skinny, you want to talk Blackish next time? We'll talk about
yeah, I'm just gonna do a real quick run through because it's my first time seeing it. It's a dope show.
Yeah.
Watching it after Black AF, super cool. And never seeing it because you kind of see like where Kenya was going with it. So that's dope. Cool. I also watched Firefly Lane. Yo, Katherine Hagel, chill out. Like, you know,
what do you mean? Okay, she still hasn't redeemed herself?
No.
Has she?
I don't know. I know she had a bunch of issues.
But like
she was like hard to work with in Hollywood. I don't know what the reasons behind that was. It could have been like, you know, the whole she speaks up too much and men didn't like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But I mean, you're working with Shonda Rhimes, so I don't see Shonda Rhimes canceling a strong woman if Katherine Hagel is being a strong woman.
But she was also doing that at a time where she was really no one. So it might also been
done a few movies. Like from my understanding was when she started doing a few movies, I think the fame went to her head, and then everyone on the show was just like, "Boo-boo, you're not that famous. Calm down." And then they just dropped her from the show. And the show was the thing. Like, I know movies are important and movies make people stars in some ways, but at the end of the day, sometimes a TV show that gets international appeal keeps you in people's minds. And you being on Grey's Anatomy was keeping you more visible than the movies you're having being released in North America. Because 27 Dresses didn't get released in China, but someone has Grey's Anatomy in China dubbed. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
so
for sure.
Just got to know your core fan base at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she
all right, man. Dope. I'm going to talk about Debris before you guys do Boss Level because I see 2 of you want to talk Boss Level. So I'll talk about Debris super quick. It's a new series on, I'm trying to remember which network. NBC? Sounds about right.
I see where this is going.
I liked it. Don't get me wrong. And I look forward to watching it. My only issue with Debris is the fact that Debris is very much in the vein of, Fringe and X-Files. It's all, and those shows, I was talking to someone earlier today, those shows don't do well on network. They do better on cable.
Agreed.
And my buddy pointed out,
it's kind of like what's the Travelers?
Yes. And my buddy pointed out the reason all those shows do better on cable or streamers is because a serialized story is more fun to watch if you can binge through it, or if it's on cable, they usually get to expand more. And networks like to keep them in a very specific general population box, and they don't go beyond that. I'm hoping that the fact that NBC wants to try and turn all of these shows into Peacock content so that they can have it for, extra shows and streaming content, that they're going to let something like this spread its wings and get a little more edgy. I don't know if they're going to do that. The first episode was interesting.
It's the same creators as Fringe.
No way.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
J.H. Wyman? I didn't realize. I mean, that makes sense. This is very much the same exact energy. And that's, it's fun. It's a fun show. Yeah, Fringe, Almost Human. He was a producer. Yeah, man. And Debris feels exactly like Fringe. And now that you've pointed that out to me, it makes sense. I that's the thing. Fringe was on the verge of being canceled literally every year. Like every season they were on. Yeah, every season it was on.
It's because I think you're right about that. It was almost too slow for us. Like every week there was like you wanted more, and you couldn't get that because it would cut off at these weird points.
Yeah. And like the serial undertone for a procedural, which is what they're doing with Debris, which is what they've done with Flash Forward on ABC years ago with John Cho and Ralph Fiennes, and like all those shows. Like my buddy was telling me about a show, Miracles, that I'd never heard of, but sounds exactly the same. The show Evil on CBS, where it's like there's a serial undertone to a procedural show. Fingers crossed Debris doesn't get canceled and they can do something super interesting and super cool, but just because I like it doesn't mean I think it's going to survive, and that's the unfortunate part. So yeah.
What about
we got a note here super quick. I believe someone is a little delayed on the live stream, but I don't want to skip them. Curious to note that the time stone of Doctor Strange in modern times, he wouldn't have it, right? He brought back the stone to all the past places they took them from. Okay. I think he still has one though. There's still
he still has the one that, like, even if because when Captain America goes back, he instantly gets it back, right? Like that's the whole reason why Cap goes back, is that it's a blimp in a moment that it's not there technically.
He's trying to return stuff.
Yeah, because the second she would take it from what's her name,
the Sorceress
Supreme, the ancient one, and go right back to the second. Like she's like, here you go, and then boop.
I mean,
here you go back. That's how it is for them.
I actually, funny enough, I kind of wanted to see that story. Like it would have been a fun mission to watch Cap go back in time and return everything. It's going to play a role in the second film, I think.
I think we might get some cutbacks to that, or some like sort of callbacks to that in certain movies, and he'll have to reprise the role.
I would like that. That'd be cool. But yeah, so that's my take on Debris. To anyone who is, who's looking for a new show, give it a chance. I'll say this: it's on par with the kind of Superman and Lois, where I don't have high hopes for it, but it's entertaining enough that I'll check it out. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, cool. I probably would too. Actually, I kind of like shows like that anyway. I give them a chance. Speaking of giving movies and shows a chance,
did
you see Boss Level?
Chances.
I've never seen Boss Level, so I'm excited to hear you guys talk about it, because it sounds like something right up my alley. Wait, this is the one you told me I needed to watch, right? There was this one and another one.
So sorry, I guess I'll try hard not to spoil too much. But essentially, for those people who like Groundhog Day, this is
I messed up. That's on me, because you did literally say watch this. So
yeah, but I would say Boss Level is essentially a classic Groundhog Day scenario where a person is repeating the same day until they die, so they're in a time loop. And I'll say this was a good take. Like I find there's always, ever since Groundhog Day, when you have things like this, it's like always gets compared to that, and whether or not it's a good version of that. And I'll say for this movie, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really liked that they really played on the video game aspect of their name. Like there was a lot of tropes to like at first when the Groundhog Day thing was happening, I was like, is this a video game? Is this potentially the story of a video game? It's only because they added layers. I'm like, okay, I don't think this is a video game.
So the movie is called Boss Level, and it feels like he's playing a video game and he's respawning.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, interesting. But Damn, I actually kind of wish I didn't know that now, because that does sound super cool to explore as a movie. That it's a time loop isn't actually a time loop. In the end, it's because he's in a video game. That sounds super cool. I know that's not what you're saying happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I want to make it clear. I'm not saying that's what happens.
If it plays like that, there's definitely another reason why, or is there? I don't know. But he's there for a reason. And the whole thing is him trying to, like, he's been through it. Okay, so at the point where we meet him, he's gone through this 140 times, which is 140 days pretty much. Yeah. But one thing to note is he only lives till about 1247 every time. If he makes it through all the gauntlets, he has to sometimes he could die early, but if he actually makes it through all the gauntlets and waits things out, no matter what he does, though, he can't make it past 1247. And then and once you find that out, then other things, that's when he starts to have, the brain moments start, right? The like, oh, this is why, and this is thing. Let me check that. Let me check this. So it's kind of like you are watching a video game, like an RPG sort of kind of situation.
Okay, and
which is interesting.
Levels up.
Yeah,
and in a sense.
And with that, it's funny because there's moments where it's like, even in the presentation, because one thing I thought was interesting about this movie is it kind of like example, when you're first watching Groundhog Day, right? You're like, oh, how is he gonna get out of this day? You have that first thought as the first thing, but then something shifts in the story, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, you already addressed this thing that I thought was going to be more like kind of the end, and now there's another direction that he's taking and using the time loop for, whatever. Like,
I'll give them credit is that you don't get. It's not the same thing. There's a new objective constantly.
Okay.
Like a new level to pass in order to accomplish your mission.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps it interesting. It could easily be a repetitive thing and daunting thing. Like, it's hard to make these time loop movies feel different and not repetitive, right? Because the whole point of the movie is things are repeating.
Exactly.
But they do an amazing job with all the different scenarios. And like, it's just when I was mentioning an RPG is like he makes a decision and something different happens, and he has to make sure that he remembers not to make that decision or to make that decision. It's cool. It's cool.
He plays around with like both timing of things and making the right call or the wrong call on things to affect what's around him. But one thing I thought that was cool, which also kind of gave overall a video game feel. I feel like how you got to the end, it's like the first part of the, like Tobi was saying, the first few minutes of the movie, you're already at 140 tries, right? And he blatantly says, I'm always stuck at this time. So imagine you're playing a video game and example, if you play the new Zelda game, you could go straight to Ganon right away. You could beat him. There is a way to get to Ganon and beat him, but what's the thing you want to do, right? You would do your side missions and build yourself up so that you could take on the boss.
Yeah.
And how they did the story and stuff, I was like, at least when I got to the end, I was like, this literally feels like there was a main mission and he did all his side missions to like.
That's why I said it's an RPG.
Yeah.
It feels like an RPG in a sense. Like Zelda, for example, just to go back on your example, like you could be stuck at a temple forever because you can't figure out the puzzle. Right? You can never get until you see that one thing that you missed every single time. You're like, how did I miss this? Yeah. Right. And then you hit that and it takes you somewhere else. And you could die there, but now you've unlocked that next level. You can always get there now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it feels like that. It's the video game angle works. But I don't know if it's needed.
So quick,
but it plays into the campiness of what's going on, but it doesn't come across cheesy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Frank Grillo holds his own.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say that was gonna be one of my points. I wanted to say, like, I've not really seen him in much. I've seen, obviously he has like his moments in the Marvel U from here and there.
He was one of the main, if not the main, in one of the Purge movies.
Oh, I didn't see those movies. I know that he also did a recent movie with
Bruce Willis,
Cosmic Sin with Bruce Willis. I didn't see that one yet either, but I would say he definitely holds his own. One thing I like about this movie, so in time travel or time loop movies, sometimes you get glimpses of like, oh, this person got depressed or this person like went through this because they were dealing with the loop. I thought he had a really good range of going through different issues throughout the loop. I don't know how to say it's like I don't know if you guys saw Palm Springs at one point in time. during Palm Springs. Andy Samberg's like all funny the whole time, but then he has one moment where he actually cracks, right? And he's like, "No, I'm tired of this. Like, I don't want to do this anymore." And he has an emotional moment. I'm not saying Frank Grillo has many of those. Sorry, he doesn't have like a definitive like crazy moment like that. But I find throughout the movie, you see him go through these little revelations that add up to that in the end, if you really think back on it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he definitely is.
Like he shows range type thing.
Yeah, I need to watch this movie because it. Yeah, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll do a double feature. That and Cosmic Sin. I'll watch together and see how he evolved.
I didn't hear good things about Cosmic Sin though.
Yo, I gotta say, man, Bruce Willis.
I know he's got to stop.
Those last few movies, it's like, are you hanging out with Nick Cage? Like, what's going on, man?
Yeah, he's got to stop.
Why are you making movies to make movies? You don't need.
But you know what? The thing is,
who just likes to act. That's really all it is. He made his money.
Maybe not even just to act, but like I guess he's getting older and this is the only thing he knows. So he just keeps signing on for everything because it occupies time and gives him something to do other than just sit there with all his money doing nothing.
But why burn away your legacy? You have a legacy of really awesome films, and then
it's burnt at this point. Who cares?
Yeah, like I guess
it was burnt shortly after Red 2.
I wouldn't say Red 2 was.
I don't know Red 2.
Red 2, but
Red 2 was good. I said shortly after Red 2.
What did he make after Red 2?
I don't know.
That's my point.
Okay, but he had trash before that too. Like what was that? Live Free or Die Hard was not good.
Yeah, but
and the other one after, and then they made another sequel. Die Hard
wasn't bad. The fifth one wasn't even a Die Hard movie.
It was weird.
It was just Bruce Willis running around screaming movie. But one last thing I wanted to say about the boss level, I have to say this: the song that they chose for like the last action montage. I don't know if you remember it, Toby. It's a Boston long time. Anyways, I don't want to. If I try to sing it, I'm going to butcher it there. But
go for it, man.
When it went for it, when he started to do his like last, not last, but like one of the last major fight scenes that it was going to happen no matter what. The song that they so often chose, it like got me in the mood again to keep watching him kill people.
What's the song?
Long Time by Boston. It's like I can't even say it. Like I can't even remember the lyrics right now. You're not gonna get me to sing on. That's what you're trying to do.
All right. I might have taken note of it, but I don't know if I remember it.
I just thought it was like it made me really laugh and get into the mood of what was happening. It was just a very well. I like when they choose like the exact right song for like certain scenes, and like that was just the perfect song.
Yeah, for the kind of movie it is, I give it a 6.5 to 7 out of 10.
All right.
Recommendation.
As an action buff, I would say 7.5.
Yeah, the action scenes are cool.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to talk about Coming to America. I give that a 5.5 on 10, by the way. I won't even explain why. You guys can obviously tell it's a sequel. Not all sequels need to be made. This one was very much made specifically just to tell us what happens after Happily Ever After. There's not enough character development. There is some weird decisions made. Ultimately, I chuckled a few times. I got what I came for, which was just a continuation of Coming to.
I was going to bring it up at the beginning where we were talking about like canceling characters and stuff like that. And I'm like, there are still some problematic things in here in terms of how he had his son.
Yeah, he got drugged. I mean, I mean, the thing with that was,
I agree with you. What's it?
The thing with that was like he didn't drug anyone though. Like it was very much like it was.
I know, but isn't it weird that it's accepted versus the other way around?
Well, I mean, but no one like who drugged him. She didn't drug him.
I guess, but he did get. I don't know. Do we find out who?
I like it's if anything, wasn't it Arsenio's character that like gave him something like that?
But he didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't think he knew what it was.
Okay, yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I don't think it's a matter of accepted. I think it's a matter of just like they were telling the story. He was drugged. She jumped on him. She was drunk. Like they're both inebriated in a point where it's just like, well, you were both inebriated and this was stupid.
It passes. I'm sure it went through a bunch of, a bunch of.
I feel like Eddie, and like that, one of the things my buddy Mob said to me was just like, it's a little unfortunate that they kept saying we were waiting for the perfect script and then this was the script. It's just like, yeah, that's a little unfortunate.
It just felt like the right time should have been the answer, not the perfect script. Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, if you were a fan, that's the other thing. Everyone I know did a double feature. They watched Coming to America and then watched Coming to America.
Right.
Those people loved it because you pretty much just got to see a continuation and it just added to the lore. Right. If you were watching it because like that's one of the things I said about this was the pandemic saves this movie, because if people paid tickets to go see this in theaters and that's what they got, people would be throwing bananas at the screen. They're like bananas, tomatoes. They would have been lighting that place up because it's like, whoa, you can't have me out here paying $13 to see that. Nah, homie, come on. So
that's interesting. That's true. Yeah. Certain things definitely got to pass during the pandemic. A lot of things got to pass.
100. We're going to be jumping into our final segment. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the deal. We do it every week. Geek News and Rumors. Ending off the show, super quick. Did you guys get to see the trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge?
Nope, I didn't.
Ridiculously down. Initially, I thought it was a movie because it was taking so long to get to the gameplay. I was like, I'm kind of down with this. I thought this is like a new animated take on the original.
I thought it was like a sequel to the original cartoon. 100, because it's just the theme music. I was like, oh, they updated the show.
It's a full minute of the damn intro theme music, and then the gameplay is the last 28 seconds.
Exactly.
It's a side scroller.
It's like a classic side scroller TMNT.
I didn't read the storyline, but it clearly looks like it's following up on the Super Nintendo kind of Super Nintendo Turtles in Time, or specifically the Nintendo arcade Turtles 2, the arcade game. Like there's certain scenes that you're seeing, you're like, oh, you're clearly taking from these games or inspiration from those games.
And it looks cool. I mean, the nostalgia all the way through the roof for people that like our generation. Skinny isn't here to say it for himself, but he said earlier he's just like 300% jumping on that one. So that's cool. I'm excited for it.
I'm just hoping that they put it out for PS4 so I don't have to buy PS5 for that game out of all games.
I would be so upset if they made it a PS5, because a side scroller that's based on 8-bit style needing to be on a PS5 feels like an insult to us PS4 havers.
It's a little much.
I didn't get my PS5 yet. I'm still waiting. Don't deprive me of a fun game because you guys made this specifically for the 5 when it could easily be ported for the 4. Like,
nah, that wouldn't be the case. They want as much money as possible.
True.
No, but if it comes out in year, I mean, PS in general, like whenever they give out a new system, they usually wait at least a year before they start like, this is only for the PS5 and shit.
Especially
like that.
since the PS4 is still super popular and still pretty strong. Like there's not many games that are too heavy for the PS4 yet. Cyberpunk looking at you. People have been talking about it. CW's Powerpuffs reveal Dove Cameron from Descendants, the Disney Channel stuff, and Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and young newcomer, but has acted on Broadway, Yana Perot, are going to be the new Powerpuff Girls.
What's happening, man?
So, one of the things I haven't seen, is it confirmed who's playing which character? Because people keep...
Does it matter?
No. That might be speculation.
Not Blue Earns. Boo.
Okay, wait. Sorry. This is saying Cameron will play Bubbles. And then... Oh, they did confirm that who's playing what?
She's playing Blossom. Bennett is playing Blossom.
Yeah. So which one is the aggressive one? Buttercup, right?
That's Perot.
The green, the one with the black hair and green.
The black girl is playing.
The black hair and green.
I know where you're going with this.
My first thought when I saw this was, why is the black girl playing the aggressive one?
Well,
why?
Let's not say aggressive. She's a rebellious badass. She's tough.
Yeah, but she can be all of those things,
bro. I don't know what you mean. Like,
No, but you're right. You're right.
I remember Buttercup, like in the few episodes I've watched, Buttercup was the one that was ready to like murk somebody.
She was ready to throw down.
Yeah, she's the one she's the hothead. And I don't like that the black girl's the hothead. I was a little disappointed. I would have actually wanted to see Dove Cameron, who's played a villain before and has the range for it. I'm not saying this other girl doesn't have the range, but you don't have to make the black girl the bad guy.
So wait, they're playing adult versions of Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, I'm hoping. Okay, so here's my thing. I'm hoping that the version of the story, as much as I don't want this, but if I'm going to get it, I hope they do it properly. Their adult versions, the cartoon was based on their real life story. You know, that kind of joke, like, and then this is them dealing with the fact that they, you know, everyone in the world thinks that it was a cartoon and they have to deal with the real life that they, you know, were dealing with as kids.
Yeah.
That's the take I would be interested in seeing.
Interesting.
The only problem is the fact that this show won't be connected to any other universe, so no crossovers and stuff. It could use help from some other shows. Dave is just giving the thumbs down for anyone who's listening because he officially does not want this, and that's his.
No, look, if you're gonna do, first of all, if you're gonna do Powerpuff Girls, you should just do it on some type of animated style.
I would have been down with that.
My only issue is just anything CW. I already primed.
No, but
and why is Chloe Bennett?
Anyway.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about Chloe Bennett because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she's already done the superhero thing. She's done Quake. I feel like this is like Dave, I think you said
down.
This feels like a step down.
Step down.
I know when she was on Agents, she would regularly say she essentially did the Kanye Bush doesn't care about black people. She said Disney doesn't care about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was a big moment. I remember when it came out, people were like, whoa, she's biting the hand that feeds her. But at the end, they still let them do as many seasons. She was still part of a show that was relatively successful. So it feels kind of weird for you to go from that to, like, you were on a network show to go to the lesser network. It does feel like a step down. Yeah. I know people don't like to acknowledge the hierarchy, but let's be real. CBS, NBC, and ABC are the top three. Fox is just below them. CW's below that.
But I feel like you already answered your question with that comment.
That's what she can't get roles at the higher level?
She made but when she was at the higher level,
she bit the hand.
She decided to bite the hand, and now she got to the level that will accept her.
But she bit the hand like a while ago and still had.
Yeah, I don't know what she's getting paid to do this or what, but it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Like, are you saying that this show is going to pay better than Agents? That's another thing. That's a good point.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if this show lasts 3 episodes.
I think it'll get a season. I feel like they'll at least get through the season.
Because I don't see the ability to properly adapt the show with also the aging. Like,
so here's the audience.
Now you're gonna create new weird, because like you can't fight Mojo Jojo now. He's like an old cripple.
Yeah. It's not going to be any of that. And honestly, it's the style of shows today and the kind of audience that watches these shows. That's why they're making them, right? Yeah. The Fate, the Winx Saga, Sabrina, Riverdale. They all have that same, we're old, we're dark. Yeah. We're going through this dark thing, and it's just like a melodrama.
It's the Man of Steel syndrome. Like, Warner Brothers is entirely trying to do Man of Steel syndrome across every property they touch, but they're not doing it well, and that's the weird part.
Yeah, and these ladies or women, they have a pretty big following. Like Dove Cameron on her own would bring a pretty large audience of women. True. I'm sure that's the audience they're going for here to watch it. Young girls. Yeah. So it'll probably be successful. It'll probably be around for a while. That just off the strength of that.
Interesting.
Because not a lot of, I don't know. I don't want to say anything else.
That's right. I don't want to give us any more spotlight. Agreed. Next show. Next headline.
Brandy Eve Naturi and Nadine Velasquez from My Name is Earl to star on a new hip hop drama pilot called Queens. The reason I brought this up is because I think the concept for this show sounds kind of cool. It sounds a little bit like they're doing a throwback to Salt and Pepper / Black Eyed Peas. because the whole point of the story is it's, you know, everyone's riding on that nostalgia tip. This group was big in the 90s. The group was made of Brandy, Eve, and Naturi's characters. And when they were popular, the execs decided to add Nadine Velasquez to their group, very much like Fergie being added. And after being added, that's when they blew up. And now it's like 20 years, 30 years later. And it's the story of them revisiting the glory.
And the fact that
and I'm interested in that. I think that sounds like a cool show. Yeah, see, very much like the Fergie. Like, my thing was, I never thought Fergie should have been the face of the Black Eyed Peas, but especially because the group itself, she wasn't the lead. Like, they were a rap group. Fergie made them a pop group, but there was more elements to them than that. And I felt
there's a cool interview with the original female member of the Black Eyed Peas on YouTube where she talks about this stuff.
Okay, I heard she wasn't an official member. She was running with them.
She was asked, well, what's an official member, right? She was asked to, right, be, and she didn't want to, quote unquote, what's the word?
Well, be lost right?
Betray her values for, you know, just for an image. You know,
okay.
You know, it's, you know,
because they were asking her to like sexualize and stuff for the purpose. Okay,
and the Black Eyed Peas were nothing about that. Like, where is the love? They went from Where Is the Love, which still introduced Fergie in this like small role, and you know they were still sort of conscious, right?
Yeah.
But from that to what was the next Black Eyed Peas single? My Humps.
Yeah, Elephant, like all that stuff was just pop. Like,
is My Humps a Fergie track? It is a Fergie track.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yeah,
not a Black Eyed Peas track. Okay, yeah.
But no, but I know what you mean. Like that whole run of
Let's
Get It Started, which the original title,
right?
People don't even want to say. They had a whole run of doing tracks that obviously were super about the pop. And I remember, like, I liked them when they were original Black Eyed Peas.
Same.
And when Best Buy did that thing where they were giving away free tickets to a Bell Center concert years and years ago in Montreal, I lined up. My buddy and I bought a portable DVD player from a store and watched DVDs while we sat in line, and then returned the DVD player as soon as we got our tickets. And it was great. We had a super fun time, and it was just, you know, back then that was the way you got people to go to concerts, I guess. And it was cool and it was interesting. And the Black Eyed Peas put on a great show, but it was unfortunate because I remember thinking this is very much not Black Eyed Peas. Like, I'm seeing the pop, like, stripped version of the group, and as it's like, well, I guess that's what it is, you know?
Yeah, I remember the next single now after Where's the Love, all on the same album. They went from they reeled you in with Where's the Love, and then they went to Shut Up, Just Shut Up, Shut Up.
God, yes. Man,
remember that shit?
A lot of those. They did
man. They went on a string. They got the popularity off of Where's the Love, and then just dropped their backpack. They left their backpack at school. Fun fact though, what's her name for the Pussycat Dolls audition to be a Black Eyed Pea, but they chose Fergie over Nicole Scherzinger.
Wow, that is very interesting, actually.
Yeah,
that's super interesting. Okay, that's pretty much all I had. The last thing I'm seeing here, I'm just doing a quick run through on stuff. AMC Entertainment's fourth quarter sales plunged 90%.
Of course.
Oh God, that's brutal. Yeah. Yeah, man. They're getting hit hard, man.
Yeah.
Inspector Deck is being added to the Hulu drama Wu-Tang: An American Saga. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
What else am I seeing? That's about it. We didn't talk about some of the other major headline stuff because none of that stuff is geek related, and we don't care about it. So. That's pretty much the whole show, guys. That we had fun. We got to talk about some crazy shit. We got to geek out. We got to deliver another wonderful show for you wonderful people.
That's right.
You got to say fuck Dan Harmon again.
Yeah. I'll just to remind you guys, if you guys are watching this, and we appreciate that you're watching. If you're listening to this later, we appreciate you listening. The Cult MTL has opened up its voting.
Right.
So we're going to be adding that into the description of the episode. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, it's also going to be a link inside the description, the bio, not the bio, the description for the episode when you get the podcast. So if you're listening to this, go click that link and go vote for us. You have to fill out 25 of the options. There's 173. 25 of them are like some of the, like, who's the best looking person in Montreal, your favorite radio show, The Morning Detour. But number 23 for us, most important, best podcast.
Best podcast. We're trying to move up in those rankings.
Yeah.
Also, is there something going on with YouTube today? This is the second or third person who feels like they're delayed in the conversation.
I'm not sure. I know it's a little delayed.
I was like, he's like strangely Nicole Scherzinger. I was like, wait, we said that like a while ago.
Hey, man. The Tobi's ahead of you. Sorry, Lee J. But yeah, that's the whole show, guys. Is there anything else you guys want to tell people? Anything you want to mention? Any? No, guys. Follow our. Yeah, go vote on cultmtl.com. Vote best of Montreal, MTL. Sorry, and then that's it. That's all. We're out. Thank you so much. We'll be back not next week. We're off next week, so St. Patty's Day, go get litty with your friends. But the week after, on the 24th, we'll be back. We'll be back. Oh, and we might do a Falcon Winter Soldier mini episode. We're not on the 17th, but we might do something on the 19th. We'll decide, but there's a good chance we will, because if that pilot pops and is as hot as we expect, there's a good chance we're going to do it.
We'll be here talking about it.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it no matter what. So we might as well do it in front of people and have them jump into. Okay, guys, we're out. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Geekcast, episode 240. 10 more, road to 250. So we're almost there. So that's a pretty big milestone. But that's it. We're out. Peace, y'all.
There, guys.